Good morning and welcome to the first video. So the goal here is really to review some of the masters of the world and deeply explore some of their ideas and how they can apply to our lives. Today we're going to be working with Naval Ravikant. We're going to be analyzing his philosophy on how to get rich. He then went on to found companies in Silicon Valley and was an angel investor in now giant projects like Uber, Twitter, Substack. To put it lightly, he's a beast. He's figured out a lot of things. And fortunately, he's shared his philosophy on how to create wealth. This is a summary of the ideas that I found interesting and important. So let's start with his definition of entrepreneurship. So what is entrepreneurship to Naval? So he says, and I quote, "So entrepreneurship is creating something from scratch, correctly predicting that society will want it and getting it into everybody's hands at scale." So the key is predicting that society will want the product by understanding what society needs and where the future's going. So if you can predict the future and the evolution of humanity, then you can build the right products. So you got to be a futurist. So if you can predict what isn't going to change in a few years, then you can also build products around that. Another important insight is that we need the skills to build something from scratch. We need the knowledge to be able to build something that people are going to need. So we need to be at the edge of knowledge so that we can build something that's different and great. So when we're in an industry, we need to be at the cutting edge. Essentially, the way to get rich, create wealth, is to create a product, create a process, or something that will earn you money overnight while you're asleep. So what you want is ownership. So what you want to do is figure out how to give society what it wants, but does not know how to get yet. That fits within your skill set. So build a product that no one has invented yet. And in order to do that, you need to be relatively dedicated to a field. So find a field where you can continuously compound knowledge because you're obsessed with it, because it's a natural part of your interests. So here's an example. That could be software engineering and how to heal people and nature. And if you stay at the cutting edge of the field, you can build products that will out-innovate what's already out there. Continuously build products that society needs, but does not yet know how to get. Do it at scale, get it into everyone's hands quickly, and do it with different forms of leverage: capital, labor, and objects with no marginal cost of replication. Those objects with no marginal cost of replication are code and media. And we'll go into how you can leverage code and media to be full force multipliers for your business later in the video. So when you build something that people actually need but don't yet know how to get, people are going to pay you for it. And the next step is to figure out how to scale it, how to do it cheaply, and how to get it into as many hands as possible. And another powerful way to achieve scale is by using code, because there's little to no cost of replicating code on large scales. You write the code once, and in theory, it's supposed to work for everyone. And with code, you can automate repetitive tasks and improve and streamline some of the processes that are involved in the problem that you're solving. Because coding is about algorithms. And algorithms help us take data in the world, helps us take many different kinds of inputs and pass them through one method of information transformation to get the outcome that we desire. And so media is another way to gain leverage. With media, you can create books and you can enter assets related to your product, and you can send them to almost anyone at any time. So books are powerful. They can help you make money. They can also help you reach the right audiences. I mean, we're creating media right now that's helping me reach you. And anybody can access this video on YouTube. So it's a great way to build a brand and to reach people and to connect with people. Finally, getting a product into everyone's hands is your unique marketing plan. And that's going to be based on your understanding of people and communities and how they're connected and how to get people to try things and online incentives. That's going to be your unique marketing plan. But first, you need to build a product. And to build a product, you need to focus on your interests and really dive deep into an industry. So, next principle. Your unique interests will allow you to find an audience. So create content about your interests. I mean, the internet has given us the capacity to reach anyone, anywhere. Shape the world in that particular field. Your unique skill set and your unique interests will allow you to find an audience, because there are always people that are going to be interested in something, no matter how niche, no matter if it's unicycle or parasailing or mycology. People are always going to be interested in something. So the trick is really to dive deep into your interests and create content about your interests and allow your interests to lead you into a particular field and start to shape the world in that particular field as you get to the cutting edge of knowledge in that field. And you're going to find an audience, because the world is interested in everything. If you take the total number of people and the total number of categories. And in essence, rediscover your interests and obsessions. Find them, rediscover them if you need to. And look out for the commercial aspects of them. And use media as leverage to build an audience that you can then distribute to. So leverage the power of media. So stay in an industry. If you stay, and I quote, if you stay in an industry in a particular field for 20, 30 years, you can make connections. And those connections will build businesses, and you will build businesses, and you will trade, and you will exchange. And if you maintain your integrity, people will come back to you for deals, and you will continue to produce for them and for yourself. So the more time, energy, and learning you invest into an industry, the more your connections and knowledge compound. And therefore, the higher the likelihood of your success. So specific knowledge, and let's move on to the next principle. So specific knowledge can unlock massive opportunities. So what is specific knowledge? Let me start by saying that even Naval has a challenging time explaining specific knowledge. Specific knowledge is something that can be learned, but not taught. If it can be taught, then you are replaceable. It cannot be taught because specific knowledge is the combination of multiple fields that are unique to you. It is the total aggregation of your knowledge. And the more attuned your specific knowledge is to the problem in the industry that you're solving, the better. Specific knowledge is what allows you to see opportunities and start building. Specific knowledge exists at the edge of your field. It's something that people are still figuring out often. And specific knowledge is going to make you uniquely qualified to conquer certain challenges. Your specific knowledge is the combined set of things that you know how to do. For example, your specific knowledge could be sales, engineering, semiconductors, and accounting. And this kind of specific knowledge could make you the CEO of a semiconductor company, because you're at the edge and you're perhaps designing the latest and greatest in semiconductor technology. You're also able to allocate capital correctly, and you're also great at sales. So you're moving your ideas and converting them into profits. Or maybe you're very skilled at medical procedures. You have an understanding of how the healthcare industry works. You're very good at writing software, and you're great at digital marketing. So maybe that specific knowledge turns into solving specific problems with a software company that's focused on healing people and seeing how they do after their surgery by leveraging data about their body and how things are progressing. Naval gives the analogy of a deep sea diver. that does dives that no one else can do. When you're really good at a specific combination of things, people are going to seek you out for them. So find a nice combination of specific knowledge and stay at the edge. And as you continue learning and growing, remember, align it with your deep interests and obsessions, because that's going to bleed into your specific knowledge. It's going to make things easier because you're going to organically be diving into subjects that are important to you. It's a mix of your interests that you had growing up as a kid, plus the skills and obsessions you've developed as an adult. So if you're still trying to find your specific knowledge, reflect and identify the things that you've already been working on. For example, I'm always thinking about my health and eating better and movement and stretching. So that's some specific knowledge that I've gained over time naturally. And I picked up a few tips and tricks. I'm not revolutionizing health, but in the future, maybe I could solve some problems in that industry. Specific knowledge does not necessarily have to be individual. So let's say you're building a video game. Well, you need to write the code, you need to raise the capital, and you need to sell the game to the mass markets. And usually one person doesn't know how to do all that. So if we go back to leverage, you can leverage capital, you can leverage labor to put together a great team. And a great team that has the aggregate of the specific knowledge necessary to write the code, raise the capital, sell the game to the mass markets, and write the game. So specific knowledge can be a composite. It can be the aggregate of people with that knowledge. So leverage powers success. I quote, figure out what you're uniquely good at and apply as much leverage as possible. As you operate a business, leverage can lead you to success. Leverage are the assets that are force multipliers for your business. Naval defines these 3 types of leverage. Labor, people that work for you. So find great people. Capital, the money you have available to spend to magnify your decisions. Using funds to grow companies. Sourcing funds from investors. Buying assets, so help your company grow. And products with zero marginal cost of replication. Software and media, code and media that can be duplicated at little or no additional cost, allowing for potentially unlimited distribution, automation, and audience attraction. Let me quote again. Your eventual outcome will be equal to something like the distinctiveness of your specific knowledge times how much leverage you can apply to that knowledge, times how often your judgment is correct, times how singularly accountable you are for the outcome, times how much society values what you're doing. Then you compound that with how long you can keep improving it through reading and learning. In that sense, you need to be able to figure out how much leverage you can apply to a specific problem. Find the right people, utilize funds to purchase the right assets, write effective code, create the right media to attract the right people, and these will become force multipliers for your success. Be a rational optimist. Know that there are pitfalls and that you aren't immortal. Build great things and approach life with a positive attitude. We only have one life, so we might as well try to be great. Building and selling. The build, sell loop is one of the most important ideas Naval has. It can simplify your perspective on business. Everything that happens in a company is either building or selling. Therefore, you should build out your skills accordingly. By building, I'm creating a service, building out the company structure, designing a product, architecting a bridge, engineering a data center, forming a route for logistics. I'm building. I need knowledge for that. Without products, businesses do not survive. Remember, you need specific knowledge to stay at the cutting edge of your industry, and you need to continuously build things that will be great for your clients. By the same token, selling also has many definitions. Selling ideas internally to team members. Selling is multivariate, and it is key. You don't need to cold call all day, but you should at least pick up one of these. Without sales, businesses do not survive. Naval says that if we can both build and sell, we can be unstoppable and achieve extraordinary success. So here's a simpler version of the concept. Learn practical persuasion and also gain deep technical expertise in a field like data and algorithms. Then combine that with a focus in your industry. And if I apply this to myself, I have an ability to persuade people, communicate online, and I have skills building as a software developer and a systems architect, and I'm also deeply interested in computers, longevity, cybersecurity, and the planet. So stay on the edge, create unique products in media and code that others don't yet know how to create at the edge of your field. So learn the fundamentals to become great in your field. Reading is faster than listening. Learn persuasion, game theory, psychology, mathematics, computers, and apply those to specific problems in your particular industry over the course of your career. Paraphrase from Naval. Focus on the foundations and the foundational texts. Read The Origin of Species and On the Wealth of Nations by Adam Smith. Be able to pick up any book in the library and read it. So here's another quick insight, quick tip. Naval says that to make your business successful, you should create ways for your customers to constantly add value to each other. Get your customers to connect. It's a brilliant idea. The importance of judgment. So your ability to have judgment is very powerful. Good judgment. You need to be able to select the right thing for you or your company to work on. He defines good judgment as the ability to understand and predict the long-term consequences of your decisions. If you're the CEO of Apple and you're right 20% more of the time than someone else, you're going to generate 20% more returns. That is billions of dollars. The more experienced and well-read you are in a particular field, the better judgment you will have. So as a creator of content and programmer, I need to optimally select the correct things to work on. The better judgment I have, the more views and the better code I will have under my belt. So Satya Nadella said something along the lines of, success is all about pattern matching. Do more of what works and less of what doesn't. And on large scales, that will make all the difference. A lot of wisdom in Naval's teachings, and here I'm concluding. There's a lot to reflect on, and there's a lot more that he said. I tried to summarize the tips and strategies that were most relevant to me and I thought would be most relevant to you. So, Paul Graham, co-founder of Y Combinator, said, work on finding product market fit, exercise, and eat healthy. That's all you have time for right now. He was addressing entrepreneurs. So, here's how I'm applying this to myself. For me, it's exercise and eat well, continue to hone my building skills and my selling skills, keep working to create amazing, valuable content, develop judgment on what kinds of topics work over time, and in effect, how to focus on my time, keep exploring my interests, keep staying at the edge of my specific knowledge, and continue to work on the foundations. Understand how computers are affecting everything in the world, being able to apply mathematics, understand the structure of the things I'm building and the world I'm operating in, and continue exploring the things that I know will make me whole, including planetary health, software, longevity, cybersecurity, and storytelling. So I hope this was useful for you, and go out there and do great things.